Imagine finally becoming the captain of your own pirate ship, setting sail across the Caribbean, chasing treasure, trading goods and fighting brutal duels on land. Sounds like the ultimate pirate sandbox, right? But then what happens when the realism feels promising yet the systems feel confusing and the world looks like it sailed straight out of 2004? This is Caribbean Legend Age of Pirates. Let's take a look using the SimShack 7-pillar review system. I always hope that games will feel believable, especially pirate games, because I love that era. And here there are some genuinely realistic ideas. Trading prices adjust depending on how much you purchase or how much you sell. Crew morale and survival systems appear to exist and may influence long-term progression as well. Things like wind angle do affect your sailing speed, which is a good foundation mechanic for the sailing, but deeper sim realism feels limited. You cannot freely walk around your ship in first or third person, for example, having to use loading screens instead. The same thing applies on land, and it's easy to get lost. It's been a long time since I've played a game with loading screens. The advanced sailing physics are simply not simulated. Waves, tide and weather do not meaningfully impact on handling. If, for example, you would turn into the wind with the hope that it would push your ship over even more, thereby raising your cannons and giving you maybe a little bit of extra range, none of that exists. Combat, however, feels dangerously realistic. One sword swipe can kill you instantly, and that creates real tension and makes encounters feel brutal. Overall, realism shows promise, but many systems feel basic or only partially experienced at this stage. So once you've chosen your character and your character's traits, you will find that you have been injured during a storm, and everything you had you have lost. So you've returned back to shore and you've basically just regained consciousness, and it's now your job or your opportunity to take what you have, which is a bit of a broken ship and a small amount of cash, and reclaim everything that you once had and then some. It's clearly a complex management and progression sandbox system. You get to sail, trade, fight, recruit crew, and explore ports across a global map. There is absolutely a lot of depth here, but with it comes quite a bit of confusion. After several hours of playing, I still didn't feel like I fully understood how, well, all the systems worked really, or how best to progress. Tutorial clarity and the learning curve could definitely be improved. That being said, the freedom to choose your own path as a pirate captain does create curiosity and long-term engagement potential. So it's enjoyable, and there's a lot of adjustment in terms of difficulty. For how long that will remain of interest to a player is difficult to say at this stage. Now, in order to be immersed in something like this, it really does require you to care about your ship and your men and your mission and your cash and your captain and your life. So when sailing between ports or stepping onto land, there are moments where the pirate fantasy starts to come alive. But immersion is often broken by the dated visuals and the mechanical feeling systems. As I say, loading screens instead of 3D modelled environments certainly feels old and certainly feels dated. The world never fully convinced me that I was truly living a pirate life, more that I was navigating a large structured sandbox. Now, in the game's defence, I didn't really progress that far. I didn't really achieve that much, and that's mostly because of the complexity and the learning curve and my sheer determination to get stuck into a fight whenever I see one. But the possibility for immersion certainly exists here. There's a lot of depth and information that can be gathered over time, and I think once you start progressing and having that journey, then the immersion will slowly begin to grip you. Audio supports the experience adequately, by which I mean the music and the ambient sound do help to set the tone, but do nothing really to stand out and become especially memorable or deeply immersive. Sound design does its job without becoming a defining strength or an overwhelming weakness. So with graphics as dated as this, you would expect the performance to handle extremely well. And I say, at 4K, I experienced a solid 90 frames per second with very little fluctuation. All the menus in the interfaces were, I would say, adequate, again feeling a little dated, but most importantly, there were no crashes or game-breaking bugs to speak of. From a stability standpoint, this was absolutely as stable as it could possibly be. Now, I often say that graphics are not the be-all and end-all of a game, but in this instance, that might not be true, because the graphics here are visually very old school. And if you go back and play one of your favourite games on a PlayStation, like I recently did with my son, the lack of graphics or the lack of HD definition, the lack of being able to see precisely what you're looking at, does get old pretty quickly. Or rather, at the first instance, is quite difficult to swallow. After you've played it for a while and you've got used to it, you kind of adjust actually, but there is a bit of a period there where it does feel slightly uncomfortable. So whereas graphics normally don't sort of really, it's like a cherry on a cake thing in most circumstances, in this particular instance, it's a bit of a limitation, it's a bit of a drawback. The environments and the overall world detail do feel basic and very, very dated. However, the character design has some positive elements, and combat animations are fast and responsive, so there's no issue there. It is certainly functional, but not visually impressive by modern standards. I think you would struggle to have a, ooh, that looks nice moment in this game. The Caribbean Legend feels like a game full of ambition, full of potential, full of passion and love for the pirate simulation experience. It's a large sandbox. There are deep systems waiting to be understood. There is a genuine pirate tension when you're in combat. But right now, it can feel like you've been handed the keys to a huge pirate empire with only half of the instruction manual. If you enjoy complex sandbox RPG experiences and you can tolerate the old school presentation, then this could become something really rather special. And remember, this is very much an evolving experience. You will grow your fleet and expand your capabilities and your skill set and your ability to do things and see things and own things throughout the game. With time, with updates and with refinements, the realism and the clarity could improve somewhat. But ultimately, I think this one is going to come down to whether or not you can stomach the graphics and the steep learning curve that the game initially has. If you enjoyed this review, please consider liking the video, subscribing, or supporting the channel if you can. It genuinely helps keep honest simulation reviews alive. Thank you so much for watching.
In a world of pixels where dreams collide, Sim UK reviews the honest guide. From racing cars to flying high, ultimate realism, take your wings to the sky. We talk about the truth and keep it real. Fact-based reviews, it's all in the field. No hype, just clarity, we break it down. Realistic simulators, the talk of the town. Real talk, Sim UK, we're here to say we keep it smooth, never lead you astray. News and previews and interviews on site. Set up guides to take your game to new heights. Honesty is the best policy, they say. Always tell the truth in every way. Yeah. From the cockpit view to the racetrack lanes, we dive deep into the cold, explore the veins. Ultimate simulations that make you feel alive. Realistic graphics, man, we help you thrive. Each guide is crafted with love and care. No false impressions, just a breath of fresh air. Whether you're a newbie or a seasoned pro, Sim UK Reviews is the way to go. Real talk, Sim UK, we're here to say we keep it smooth, never lead you astray. News and previews, tutorials on site. Set up guides to take your game to new heights. Honesty is the best policy, they say. Always tell the truth in every way. Yeah, we're diving in, no shortcuts here. Honest updates, that's what you'll hear. Simulations that sparkle, realism that shines. With every review, you'll know what's divine. From the mechanics to the sound of the game, Sim UK's the name. Remember the fame, we won't steer you wrong. We keep it tight, sharing knowledge in the day and the night. Yeah, got set up guides to make it a breeze. The reviews that unlock with the greatest of ease. Fact-based reviews taking the forefront. Realistic simulation, we always confront. The challenge is real, embrace what you find. Sim UK Reviews just leaves you enlightened. No fluff, just facts, that's our creed. Bringing you the truth, that's how we lead. So come along with us, join the ride. Sim UK Reviews, your truth by your side. With every honest word, you'll capture the thrill. Ultimate realism, the peak of the hill. From flying high to racing fast. Sim UK Reviews, your knowledge will last. Together we can explore, uncover and learn. Realistic simulation, it's our turn.